Aloha and welcome back to the guest list. Thank you yet again to being guests here on our weekly sessions. Today we are so excited because we have Morgan from Moana Bell Events who's going to join us to talk all things wedding planner. I'm Amanda Douglas, Director of Catering and Conference Services at Four Seasons Resort Oahu. And Morgan's going to bring a little more information on all things wedding planning. Morgan's company, Moana Bell Events, along with Lena and Jane as managing partners, have over 35 years of event experience. Wow. So they're going to be fantastic partners for us to talk all about hiring the right wedding planner for you. So today we're going to talk about why hire a wedding planner, what a wedding planner does, when to hire a wedding planner, and who as a planner fits you best. Feel free, ask us questions, send us some comments. We love to know more about, what sort of content you want for the future. So please send us those questions and DM us. We want to make sure that we, get that in for the future. Morgan should be here shortly. Don't forget, if you want to go check out more of Morgan's work after today, you can go to moanabellevents.com. Morgan's energy is super contagious, so I am very excited to have her today because I am on like my third cup of coffee. So I am excited to have her come and join and talk a little more with us. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. If there is any content that you want for the future, go ahead, send it in the comments. It's just really helpful for us to have, these little points and tidbits that'll help you for the future planning. This is all about finding the right fit for you and your planning needs. And hopefully with our team of experts and the vendors that we bring on, we can help service those needs for you. Okay, Morgan should be here any moment now. In the meantime, I'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do in 2 weeks. So again, always here on live at 9 a.m. Hawaii time. We will talk about, some sort of content that is helpful to you all in planning. So in 2 weeks, on October 7th, we will talk a little more about the micro wedding trend. It's kind of a big buzzword right now. Everyone wants to kind of understand a little more what's involved and how that will help you with your planning and sort of this time period where we're looking at smaller events. The trend is really there right now, but I think we'll be there to stay. And we've seen that for quite a while here in Hawaii. Typically when it's a destination wedding, a smaller size makes sense, but of course we can fit all sizes, which is great, from 2 to 1,000 people, which is fantastic on our property. But the small trend is big right now and will be in for a while. So look forward to that. So again, that'll be October 7th. So join us again here on FS Oahu Events at 9 a.m. for that content. And then some of the content that we have shared for, if you want to look and see what Morgan's done and her team with Moana Bell Events, you can go to our Instagram page here on FS Oahu Events, and you can check out all the little posts that we've had recently. Occasionally we'll post more as we go through what past events we've had. And then of course our new events when we do start to do events again, which we are so excited to get back to. And hopefully some of our couples are watching that are planning future weddings. We know it's been a tough time for everyone having to adjust and change, but we really look forward to having you on property very, very soon. Hi everybody. Okay, here we are. Morgan joining us now. Hi! I was just saying, your energy is so contagious. So this is just really helps my morning. So thank you for joining us. It's so good to see you. I wish I could just give you a big hug right now.
I know, I've missed you. Our whole team has missed you. And I can't believe it's been so long since we've been able to be on site together.
I know. Well, we'll be there soon, right? We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be able to do events, and then we can hang out and see each other a little bit
Yes.
more. But in the meantime,
Yes.
it's great to see you virtually. And for all of our viewers, this is such a fantastic opportunity to learn more about wedding planning.
Exactly. Very important these days.
Very important. It helps really just bring everything together. Okay, well, let's get to it. So we talked about it a little bit. We both completely miss being on property. I know for me, I miss, from the start of the site visit, the planning meetings, the tastings, all that stuff, and just seeing it from start to finish and the couple's excitement on the day of, which I'm sure you do as well. But what's your favorite thing about being a wedding planner?
My favorite thing about being a wedding planner has to be our couples. It's just such a special time we get in their lives that we get to meet them and be a part of this occasion with them that they're going to remember forever. And we get to work with them on that. So it's just pretty incredible job that we get to be a part of that time. And even 10 years later, I mean, I've been doing this for 17 years now, and it's a long time. So I've had couples come to me 10 years later and say, oh my gosh, thank you. That was the best night of our lives. And I oftentimes am like, oh, but you have like kids now. Isn't that like the best time of your life? Like not your wedding day. And they tell me that that wasn't exactly such a great day per se, having that child. Like they're really, the child's the best thing, but really your wedding is that celebration, that memory, that occasion where everybody comes together and really probably never that group again. So it's pretty special what we get to do, and I just love it.
Isn't the best? I love when people stay in touch. And I mean that. So for those watching, if you've had a wedding with Morgan or with us or both of us, stay in touch. We love to see your families growing and changes. It really is. It's really special to us as well.
Me too.
So a lot of our couples come to us and they say, hey, Amanda, with Four Seasons, do I really need to hire a wedding planner? And I get it. We do a lot as Four Seasons, and we definitely want to be there for you as a couple. So just know that we will, of course, go the extra mile. But there really isn't any replacing of a wedding planner, in my opinion. I think it's one of the best investments. For my own personal wedding, I had a wedding planner because I just didn't want to have to worry about anything that day. I just want to let it go and make sure I can just enjoy, like you said, being with all these family and friends that you never get together all at once, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what, in your mind, a wedding planner and the value to couples and why it's important hiring a wedding planner?
Yeah, absolutely. We get this question a lot, and I have to say, I think it's not necessarily the couple's fault that they don't really understand that difference, because of course, Four Seasons is amazing. We love working with you guys, and we know that you go above and beyond for all of your couples. So certainly it might feel like you guys take care of everything that needs to happen. I think there's a lot of properties that also have coordinator in the title, and it's really confusing to a couple to think, well, I'm already hiring them as a coordinator. That's what their job title is. So would I need a wedding planner? And the reality is that they're very different jobs. And one of the best ways that I found to explain that is that when you're working with a hotel, they're going to take care of all the things that the hotel takes care of. And so anything that you book outside of that, any vendor that is outside of the hotel, you're going to have to handle alone. Or if you have a planner, that's who's going to handle that for you. So it's kind of a good way to think about, well, they're probably going to be doing the venue and the food and the drinks. But after that, I mean, they're not going to be able to assist you with people that you're hiring outside. And so our job really is to work with that couple. The couple is our client. And that does also put us in a bit of a unique position as those working in a hotel. You answer to the hotel. So really, if something comes up that is hotel related, you're going to need to do that. And you guys have a lot of events on your roster, clearly. And what we're able to do is really prioritize that couple. So we're there to just work for them, to just make sure their expectations are met, and to also facilitate with the property. So we have a great relationship with our venues that we work at with you at the Four Seasons. Mm-hmm. And so we're able to work together as professionals and really make sure that everything that the couple wants is going to happen. So we work on design, we'll help you with etiquette, we'll help you with those timelines and details, logistics, site maps, guest relations on site. So really everything outside of that, your planner is going to handle. And it's really such an important thing right now, I think, as well, with the postponing and rescheduling, and there's confusion. And I think that anyone planning without a planner is having a really hard time not having a professional to walk them through that and to say, you know, here's exactly what to expect from the hotel, and let me call them and see if we can do that. You know, not to mention that, you know, planners, if they have worked at those properties, probably have good relations like you and I do. So it's a little bit easier to have those conversations about what's possible and what's not. So a planner is really a complement to the property, and they're really there to make sure that the property has everything they need, because we have the time and the bandwidth to handle that, whereas the property doesn't really have all the time to do those personal things.
Completely. Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head there. It's really a compliment. We work together, like you said, so well. And it's really, you know, I think that's the one thing couples always think, like, oh, am I stepping on toes if I hire a planner? Absolutely not. You know, I would love to do more design. I really would, but unfortunately, right, I just don't have the time for that amount of detail, right? So
yeah,
having like Morgan and her team is just a fantastic compliment to your wedding. So, okay, so like wedding dresses, your stationery, your floral, you know, there's not one size that fits all. And thank goodness, right? Because we all have different styles. So, you know, when you're hiring a wedding planner, what should a couple look for? Like, what are some key things that you would say are important?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my first thing that I say is you need to find someone you trust. Bottom line, doesn't matter who it is, you have to find someone that you trust and that you resonate with, because the wedding planning process can be sort of a stressful process in the way that it's sort of like a home renovation, where it might cost a little bit more than you think it's going to cost, or really there's probably some family things that happen during that time that you'll have to navigate. And so you just want to have someone that you don't have to worry about, that they're passing you the best possible information for you, that they have your back, that they're experienced, that they know what they're doing. So first and foremost, it's that trust factor that I really think is the most important. It really affects us doing our jobs as well. When we have clients who trust us, it makes it so much easier to really work so hard on their behalf and know that they're, you know, accepting everything that, you know, we're giving to them. So that's number one. And then of course, you want someone with experience. I think that in the day and age of social media, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell who has been doing weddings for a while and who's doing some really gorgeous shoots or maybe reposting photos on their platform. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I think you want to make sure that your expectations are going to be met. So the things that you expect from a planner, make sure that those are the things that they do, that they'll do for you, that they excel in. Certainly we do design. That's a huge aspect of our couples who want to work with us, know that we're going to take that extra time and care to go above and beyond and design something for them that's really personal. So if that's important to that couple, then that's a good fit, you know, with our services. And I think that the other thing is you just want to hopefully have someone who's familiar with the property that you're working with. And if not the property, then the area. I think there's a lot to be said, again, especially nowadays, with someone who's familiar to where you're getting married. If you are coming from the mainland or internationally to Hawaii right now, I think it'd be very difficult for people to sort of guess what's going on here, as opposed to people who are here like you and I, who can say, here's what's going on, here's what we can do, here's how things go. And then of course have knowledge of, you know, all the vendors as well. So it's really good to have someone who's familiar with the place, the destination, and hopefully with the venue too, because that really is in your benefit.
Definitely, definitely. We had a question that came up, which I think is you answered some of these points already, but how best to vet a planner? Like what sort of maybe like questions or
Yeah.
things should a couple ask for when they're calling planners?
So I think, of course, go online, look at the scope of their work. Usually their websites will give you more in depth. It wouldn't be something just on Instagram. And then also, take a look at maybe if they have reviews out there and really read those. I think if you're careful reading it, you can probably get a sense of that style. And then the other thing is that talking to a former couple is a great thing. It's a really good thing. People forget that now. It's old school. But really talking to someone about their experience with that planner when they don't work for that planner is going to be super informative. And, aside from that, of course, get on the phone with a planner, make sure you have a good rapport, that you think they know what it is you expect and are able to fulfill that.
Yeah, I think that's great points. And as a venue, we're always happy as well to give our input and those that we've worked with. And we really feel most comfortable with those that we have worked with, right? Because we can actually say confidently, I've worked on a wedding with Morgan and her team, and here's some information. So great question, great answers. Okay, great. So, let's say a couple's listening right now and like, okay, I've interviewed some planners, and I've picked my planner, but when they work with you and Wannabelle, for example, what's sort of the process they should expect? I think that's a lot of confusion. Like, okay, am I supposed to be doing something right now? What am I supposed to be doing? But how do you set couples up so that they feel very comfortable that the planning process is all taken care of for them?
Yeah. So I think that one of the things that I'll say first is some of our couples and some of the couples that have hired, or booked the Four Seasons already. So they've already booked the Four Seasons Oahu and they think, oh, now I need a planner, and they're really confused as to how that might work. And the fact of the matter is that you could have booked your venue prior or book it when you come to us. We work either way. And since we do have relationships with all of the venues here, and most planners will at least have a good rapport, we're just going to contact you and take over from there. So essentially you'll just turn over what you have as a couple at that point, and we're able to pick that up and run with it. There's nothing that you need to do extra. So it's totally fine to have booked the resort first and then book us, or it's totally fine to book us and then book a venue. One of the nice things that we're able to do if you do book a planner prior to a venue is that we can walk you through that contracting process. And also, of course, since we're familiar with the venue, let you know what to expect. So maybe, we're going to have a lot of insight as to maybe you want to book this venue as opposed to this venue on the property, or maybe, the after party here or the reception here. We know all those ins and outs and can really walk you through that. So I would say that first, don't worry about that part. We always work together. So no matter what order you do it is fine. And for our company, we love to get to know our couples. So we start off with a in-depth questionnaire and consultation where we get to know all about them and about what they want for their wedding and what their expectations are. And then we put together a full plan for them that we walk through with them and they get to approve. And then moving forward in the process, we have what's called a phase-based process. So our method is that we move you through phases so you know exactly where you are in the process. The majority of our couples are destination, so we want to make sure that they feel comfortable. And we know that's hard when you're an ocean away and don't really know what's going on. So we try to make sure they're really comfortable with that. We will book all the key vendors first and then fill in those details. We, as I said, have a focus on design. So we make sure that we work with the couple to establish this amazing vision for their wedding that's perfectly custom and unique. None of our weddings are the same, so we really work with you on that. And then, of course, we communicate that to all of your vendors, to the venue, to make sure everything is cohesive and beautiful. We do the logistics for them. So, again, working with you to make sure you have all the info you need, all of the vendors need to make it run smoothly. And then we'll, of course, do, all the detailed timelines and site maps and plans. We have a online client portal. We have all sorts of tools for everybody to feel comfortable. And then we are on site that day walking through everything with them. So I think one of the important things to note is that, again, as a venue, you are not really able to be on site in one position for 12 hours with the couple, and we are. And that's our job. So we really take you through that whole day, cue every single ceremony, song, processional, take care of your guests, take care of the program, run everything with you. So we're really involved in every single thing. And you just walk through those phases with us. And we usually wrap up about a month before the wedding, tie everything together nicely, deal with some final details, and then produce it. So there's a lot to go into with how we work, but that's the gist of it.
No, that's great. It makes me want to plan something right now with you. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
One thing I love about working with you, Morgan, is you always tell your couples, leave everything through you, right? The channel, the communication, because it just makes it so much easier. If you're a client, if you're the couple trying to communicate with me and with Morgan, it's so much extra work for you. And that's where the planner really comes in, right? Like you are the funnel to help.
Yeah, we are the main point of contact for all of our clients. So they just talk to us, we talk to everybody else. And that way there's no information that's missed or things get, like that telephone and, misinterpreted or repeat. I mean, none of that. We really do make sure that we're the one point of contact. And as you said, it's so great because we are professionals. This is our job, and we know the ins and outs of a property like yours. So we really are going to have conversations together about an event that are going to be very different than the couple just coming to you and saying, like, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? We know what we can do on that property and what's going to be feasible, and work with you to make that happen the best way possible. So yes, we do. We are your total one-stop shop.
And we like challenges too, right? So if you're out there and you want to try something new, throw it at us. We love it.
Oh yeah, we love challenges. We love new things. Absolutely.
So, you're probably like me, you go to a party or an event and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you do events? Like, what's the craziest thing you've seen? Or what's the biggest request you always get? Or, all these kind of questions. It makes it fun, right? At parties, I feel like our jobs are maybe a little more exciting some. So anyway, that's always kind of fun. But what kind of things should couples know that maybe you guys don't do? Like, is there anything Moana Bell Events just kind of has what they do and don't do, I guess? Is there any questions you typically get?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. And we like to say that as long as you can afford it and it's legal, we can take care of that.
There you go.
Obviously, that's a little bit of a broad statement, but if it has to do with your wedding, we're able to do that. So if that is, the day before party, a welcome party, a rehearsal, recovery brunch, whatever it is, we handle all of that. We're happy to assist you, with which bridesmaid's dress to pick out if you need our advice on what's going to look best. And we do all the details. And really, we take care of everything. We also are a little bit unique in that we work with a travel agent. So our couples have access to a travel agent who's able to do activities for them and, accommodations if they're going to a different island afterwards or things like that. So we really want to be totally the one person that you can call, and we're going to take care of everything that you need. Helicopter landing, fine. Shuttle everyone in by a boat. We've done it all. We're happy to do it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, more fun and crazy, the better.
I think a lot of people maybe tuning in from other areas in the mainland, wherever you might be, what's really here in Hawaii important is destination management companies, right? And so you're kind of a hybrid between a wedding planner and destination management, right? Because you mentioned all these things you can do that maybe not every planner can do, but it's great that you offer those services.
Yeah, definitely the design aspect of it, that we dive so deep into that. And of course, we want to make sure you're taken care of. As I said, most of our couples are destinations. So it seems that that's something that they were needing with us. And so we wanted to be able to do that for them. So yeah, we are a hybrid in that, but that we really don't have a lot of weddings per calendar year. We just have a handful. So we really get to spend a lot of time with our couples and and make sure we take care of everything that they need.
Yeah, that's key. That's true. And you're really creating a relationship, which is nice, like we said.
Yeah.
So I love to talk about trends, and I love that they kind of come and go. I mean, it's always the classics, right? You always see the same things throughout the years, which I think is great. But kind of what trends we're seeing a lot more couples wanting to come to Hawaii, which, I mean, obviously, why wouldn't you want to? I think their plans are changing, perhaps in other places, and now it's the time. Let's do that destination wedding I've always wanted to do. But what sort of trends are you seeing with your couples or future planning couples coming through?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things right now has to be micro weddings. And that's obviously timely. With the pandemic, there is going to be fewer people wanting maybe to travel and having the need for smaller weddings. We've actually seen this forever in Hawaii. So we're super familiar and comfortable, as I know your property is as well, with doing a micro wedding. And what a micro wedding is, the definition really right now is 50 people or under. So that's very standard for us, but I love that. I think that when you have a smaller group of people, you really get to kind of throw out the traditional stuff and do things the way that you really want to as a couple. So it lends for usually a more intimate and personalized affair, which I really love. And also, just logistically, budget wise, you really have the option, because weddings we like to think of as a per person cost. That's really the best way to approach a budget. So when you're thinking of it in that way, when you have fewer people, you get to spend more on them, which means that a lot of our couples get to do all of the things that they want to do instead of having to decide which ones they can splurge on and this ones they don't want to because they have a large guest count. So that's a really great perk as well. And I don't think that micro weddings are going anywhere, but I think we're going to see a lot more of them.
Agreed. Yeah, and it's always nice when I start planning a menu with a couple, and and they do have a smaller count because they can really spend and have fun with the menu, right? Versus having to go, oh well, I mean, we've got to be careful here, right? Which again, you have to look at the overall budget. So I agree. I think it's a trend to stay for sure, and that's the great thing with both of our companies. We've done all ranges and sizes, and really the smaller weddings are key. And like you said, anything under 50 is pretty common here in Hawaii, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. And we've done some beautiful things on your property as well, where, there was one where they were complete foodies and we were able to do this spectacular 4-course menu with wine pairings that we would never have been able to, have done if there was a larger guest count. So we really could take things that the couple loved and incorporate those into their day and really go all out. So there's a lot of things that are great about having a smaller affair. So
and you get to see everybody, right? I mean, as a bride, it's so hard to get around and see all of your guests, and then you really get that intimate feeling, get a chance to spend and have the memories with everybody.
Absolutely. You get to have conversations.
Right.
Instead of just saying, oh, hey, let's take a quick picture.
Okay, so speaking of memories, for us, the wedding day is so important for the couple, but it's also really important for us as partners, right? I mean, we put a lot of time and energy. We really want it to go well for our couples. We expect perfection on both ends, I know. For me, I've really been doing this for over 20 years. In the last couple of years, I've been trying so hard to really make an effort to be in the room and be present for the toast. Typically, it's in the middle of dinner service and I might be running into the kitchen or wherever it might be, but I love to hear the toast because I think that really brings in that personal side. You get to know the couple even on a deeper level, right? This is their closest family and friends. And I had a groom a couple years ago that had the funniest toast, and I still remember it. And it was a very heartfelt, tribute to his new family that he was gaining, which is really memorable. For you, do you have that moment that you'll always remember from a certain wedding that just kind of always sticks with you?
Oh gosh. Well, in terms of like all the memories, it's like a lot, obviously.
Right.
I think that if there's a moment that's in general, at the wedding for me, it's that really special moment, like right before they walk down the aisle and they see each other, and then right after where kind of we're only with them, and it's
Yeah, that moment,
I have to
I think
say
Morgan
that
froze
I
here, but
think
that
the
moment,
surprises, yeah, the surprises are my favorite. I've had you know, there's been all sorts of things, but we had one couple where the bride was planning a big surprise and the groom was planning a big surprise, and they had no idea. And it was so fun to just spend this, you know, year with them not knowing each other, was just planning this beautiful surprise. And there were lots of tears, and it was
oh,
just so special. So
that's so,
I'm all for surprises.
oh yeah, for sure. Well, and that's so hard on you all to keep that, to not accidentally slip, right? So good
I
on you.
know.
You could do great surprise parties too.
We've actually had like we have timelines that are like internal and external, because we have the surprises on our internal, but we can't send that out to the client because one of them doesn't know about it. Actually happens pretty frequently. So I love it. I think any couple who, you know, sort of wants to surprise each other on that day, I'm all for it. And I think it's really sweet. So
It is.
that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I love to see that too. Because sometimes we don't even know about those surprises, and
I
we
know.
can see it that day too, which really makes it kind of exciting for everyone there, which is nice.
It does. It does. The guests love it and their families love it. And it's so fun to see. We've also had families surprise the couples too that we've organized, and that's really fun as well. So
Yeah.
it's just special.
It is, because like you said, everyone's together, right? So this is such a
Yeah,
great opportunity to do these things.
it is.
Anything else that, those watching today or maybe might watch this in the future, anything else as a wedding planner that the couple should know and kind of keep in mind?
Yeah, I think that I don't think we touched on maybe like how long people should
Mm.
hire us prior to their wedding. And that's a
Mhm.
question that we get asked a lot. So obviously, it's ideal to do 8 months to a year prior to your wedding date is a really great time frame. And that just gives us time to have fun planning, to not rush decisions, and to be first in line to book maybe those venues that you want at the Four Seasons, or to get that specific vendor you want before they're booked out. So that's always great. But we're really able to be hired at any time. And I know that you and I have done a wedding with 7 weeks lead time, which was very intense, but it was a beautiful wedding. It was a big wedding too. It was like 85 guests, and it was 2 days of celebration. And we pulled it off, and it was beautiful, but it was a pretty crazy 7 weeks. And I think for that couple, they just needed to make all those decisions very quickly in order for
Mhm.
us to do what we needed to do. So it gets a little more stressful on your end if you wait longer, but otherwise, when you have that nice spacious 8 months to a year, it gives you some time not to. But I know you work magic, and we like to think that we can. So whenever you want to book us, we will do our best to produce
Completely.
that.
I think you're right. You just have to set that kind of conversation from the start. Decisions need to be
Yeah.
made quicker, right? There's no time to kind of hem and haw. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's amazing sometimes. The biggest weddings will be in such a short time period. I had one years ago that was 350 people, and they said, we've got 2 months. And I thought, oh my gosh, how are they going to get everyone here? And it pulled together. It was amazing. So, good on us, I guess. We figured it out.
Right? We definitely could do it. It is a bit more stressful on the couple, though, but we could make it happen. We will work with it.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This
Yeah.
was so fun to see you, to chat all things weddings.
Yes.
Can't wait to be back in action again. Again, go to moannabellevents.com if you want to check out more of their photos. Their Instagram is amazing. We've been posting some of their photos, but they really are a great go-to for all your sourcing needs. And again, don't forget, join us in 2 weeks as we talk about more things weddings on the guest list on October 7th. Thank you so much for joining
Perfect.
us.
Thank you, Amanda.
Aloha.
Bye.